They found his giant footprints in the mud. Each one was as wide as a canoe, and so deep that water filled them like small ponds. But there was no sign of where he came from, or where he went. Only the silence of the forest, and the missing children. There is a story the old fishermen tell in the village of Opunembi. They do not say his name. They only call him the giant man. Some say he was a spirit. Some say he was once human, but something evil grew inside him and changed him. Others believe he still walks the far creeks at night, watching, waiting. This story happened many years ago, before the roads came, before phones, when the forest and the water controlled everything. In those days, the people of Opunembi lived simple lives, fishing, farming, telling stories under the moon. Children ran barefoot, laughing, and the air was always filled with the smell of smoke, salt, and palm oil. But then, strange things started happening. It began with the sound. Every few nights, the villagers heard heavy thuds, like something huge walking slowly through the bush behind their homes. Thud, thud, thud. The animals would cry and run. Dogs would howl, and goats would try to break their ropes. But when the men went to check, there was nothing. No broken trees. No footprints. Only silence. Then the pigs started to disappear. One night, Ebia's mother tied their only pig to a tree behind their hut. The next morning, the rope was still there, but the pig was gone. The rope hadn't broken. It had been untied. Carefully. Like by human hands. Soon after, dogs started vanishing too. And then, the children. First it was Oyin, the quiet boy who liked to play by the mangrove roots. He went out to fetch firewood and never came back. Then it was Timmy and Boma, two brothers who went to check their fish traps and never returned. Their canoe was found drifting, empty, near the far side of the creek. That was when the fear truly began. Old man Okoroma, the village hunter, swore he had seen something in the forest. It was not a man, he said, his voice shaking. It was too tall. Taller than a palm tree. And its skin was black, not like ours, but dark like burnt wood. I hid under the roots and watched it. Its arms were long, its back was bent, and it moved like it was smelling something. The elders warned everyone, no one must go out after sunset. Children must stay indoors. All drums and dancing were stopped. The village grew quiet. But the giant man did not stop. One night, during the Harmattan, a group of brave young men decided to find him. They carried machetes, charms, and palm oil torches. Among them was Korobo, the strongest boy in the village, who had once fought off a crocodile. They entered the forest at dusk, chanting to drive fear away. They didn't come back. Only one torch was found, half burnt, lying near the water. Beside it was a footprint so wide that 5 men could have stood in it shoulder to shoulder. That was when everyone believed something was out there. The chief of Opunembi sent word to the next town. He begged for help. Days later, warriors from Tumbras came with their rifles and hunting dogs. They searched the forest and the swamps for days. Then they saw something strange. Near the end of the forest, close to where the mangroves grow thickest, they found a path that had not been there before. The trees were pushed aside like someone had walked through them. Not cut, just bent, like grass. The men followed the path until they reached a clearing. In the middle of the clearing was a large mound of mud and sticks, shaped like a hut, but much bigger. The smell was terrible, like rot and old fish. They crept closer. Inside, they saw bones. Human bones. Pig bones. Goat skulls. And something worse, a necklace made of baby teeth, hanging from a wooden post. They burned the hut to the ground. The warriors stayed in Opunembi for a week, patrolling, guarding, but no one saw the giant man again. No more sounds. No more missing people. It was as if he had vanished. But the fear remained. Many years passed. The village grew bigger. New people came. The story of the giant man became just a tale told to scare naughty children. But not everyone forgot. Sometimes, after heavy rain, hunters still find giant footprints in the mud near the mangroves. Sometimes, people say they hear the thud, thud, thud at night. Some say he is still there, deeper in the forest, older, angrier, waiting for the time when people will forget again. And when they forget, he will come back. You may not believe this tale. That is fine. But ask the oldest people in Opunembi, and they will not laugh. They will look away, and their eyes will become dark. Because once, in the heart of the Niger Delta, a giant man walked the earth, and nobody knew why. And nobody could stop him. Years later, when the last person who saw the giant man died, the village elders gathered and poured libation into the earth. They begged the land to forgive them, for not listening sooner, for letting fear silence them, for forgetting the stories. But one boy, hiding behind the trees, saw something that chilled him to the bone. Far across the creek, on the edge of the mangrove, a huge shadow stood, tall and still. He blinked. It was gone. The boy ran back to the village, breathless. But no one believed him. After all, the giant man was just a story.